slide. Okay, types of various certificates. Now, these type of certificates are again divided as per the purpose just we saw. General health status certificate. We issue very commonly medical fitness certificate where a person was sick and was under my treatment as an OPD or IPD patient from this date to this date, whatever it is. Health checkup certificate, whether he is fit to go for work or work fitness certificate, we may say it. Fitness to travel certificate, usually required in high altitude tours or camps or treks or for foreign travels. Each certificate may be required by police for multiple purposes. Illness and absence certificate, sick leave certificate, very commonly issued. Absence from work certificate, again related to sickness or fitness certificate, may be related, may not be related. Disability and special needs certificates like disability certificate, chronic illness certificate, special needs certificate, for which patient disabled person may need the certificate, like for getting his driving license or getting his car or getting some special benefits from the government. Surgical fitness certificate, for like for anesthesia and physician fitness, patient is fit or unfit for surgery. Then another type is legal and forensic certificates, like medical legal certificate, which we issue many times and which are required by police in the courts. Injury certificate, very common certificate, I may say most common certificate issued by medical practitioner. This is one of the very important certificate which you should issue with due care, with your utmost care, because once you write on the paper, it is written in black and white. You cannot deny ki that was wrong or I had written it under some pressure or anything else. So whenever you issue any certificate for that matter, not only injury certificate, try to be as correct as possible. Witness stand certificate, sexual offences certificates, postmortem certificates. Postmortem certificate is the death. Postmortem we do after the death and we issue the certificate. Sometimes the certificate is not issued and the cause is kept reserved till we obtain the chemical analysis or some forensic examinations are done. Pregnancy and maternity certificates may need to be issued again. Maternity leave for maternity or nowadays paternity leave has also started at some places. Insurance certificate, there are multiple insurance certificates which insurance companies need. The most important is life certificate, that the person is alive. Immunization certificates. Then further types is special medical conditions like blood test certificate. Like suppose someone may need seropositive certificate to get the treatment free of cost from the government. Allergic reaction certificate, suppose somebody is found to be allergic and a registered medical practitioner may, after consulting the respective allergy specialist, give the certificate that person is allergic to so and so drugs. Person may require that certificate for further treatment and other places. For school admissions, visa, that is for foreign travels, they may require various type of certificate like fitness certificate or yellow fever certificate for some countries is compulsory. Under influence of alcohol certificate is one of the important medical certificate which we need to issue often. Special certificates are required for medical health, mental health problems, will execution. Nowadays, it is in work. To write the living will or to write our will, we have to get a physician certificate of fitness. That person is fit to write his will. Firearm license. For every firearm license, medical certificate is required. Adoption of a child, CARA guidelines and Juvenile Justice Act. These are the newer things coming. Driving license. These are the special types of certificates. Most important certificate though remains are the birth and death certificates. Okay, we got the what are the types of certificates or what are the purposes of certificate we just saw. Now, what are the queries? Anybody has any query? Please unmute yourself if possible. Okay, let's move forward. What may be the queries? Okay, certificate for how many days you should issue? If patient is not under treatment, your treatment, then should you issue the certificate? Can you issue certificate in advance? Maybe a fitness or sickness certificate? Absolutely no. Can you give certificate in absence of person? Better not to give. Issue to unknown person, never. Influence of drug or alcohol, you may give the certificate after due examination of the person. Any specific format? There are some specific format for few standard certificates like medical, like a birth certificate, death certificate, or alcohol certificates. Maybe for some yellow fever vaccine certificate required for visa. But you can give it in any format on your own letterhead with your sign and registration number. Now, what should be the content of the certificates? Certificate मध्ये आपण काय काय लिहायला पाहिजे? This is important slide. Doctor must examine himself. The most important thing. Another doctor is examining and you are issuing certificate. You should not do this. You have to examine him personally. Date and examination. Date and time of examination is must. The name and address of doctor. The name, age, address, and sex of doctor or patient. Name and address of party requiring the certificate. Like sometime insurance company is required, and preferably you should not write to whomsoever issued. Usually tell the name or ask the name to whom the certificate is to be issued, because sometimes it happens that you write to whomsoever and patient uses at multiple places. So always be specific while writing the certificate. Must be on your letterhead. Exact nature or disease or diagnosis has to be written on the certificate as far as you know. Specific period of time of the word as justifiable by the disease. You have to write the required period of sickness or leave or absence on the certificate. The degree of incapacity or whether the patient could return to the work with altered duties, this has to be clearly mentioned. Say suppose there is a fracture and you have advised 6 weeks rest, then 6 weeks is complete rest. Maybe after that 4 or 6 weeks he may be given light duty, and then after 3 or 4 months he may be recruited to his original duties. Like this, you have to specially and clearly indicate. The most important thing is the two identification marks. These are must. One or two identification marks are must on any certificate and every certificate. Because whenever the certificate goes to the court, the opposite party lawyer just find these त्रुटी त्या त्रुट्या फक्त शोधून काढतात and they get the benefit of doubt. Signature of patient and doctor both is must. Only doctor signing the certificate should not be there. You also take the sign of the person himself on that same certificate where you have signed. Well, this is the certificate which I have issued to the undersigned person. And always keep 2 or 3 copies. One with you, maybe one with patient, and if required, the another for a third party. If we do not follow these rules, or maybe we can say these are not actually the rules, but these are the guidelines. If we don't follow the guidelines, then we are liable to be sued or punished under this Professional Conduct Etiquette and Ethics Regulation Act 2002. According to this section 1.3.3, registered medical practitioner shall maintain a register of certificates he issued. He shall always write the identification mark and keep a copy of the same. He shall not omit to record signature or thumb mark, address, and at least one identification mark of patient. See, this is very important. Identification mark and the signature of patient or person himself. That has to be there. And another thing it is mentioned is you have to keep the copies. Registration number is must on the certificate. Registration number of doctor of the respective medical council is must. Patient shall display a suffix their name or only the recognized degrees. If he does not display the registration number accorded, then it is a ethical issue, or he may be liable. He is liable to violate the above section 1.4.2. The registered medical practitioner shall not issue certificate of efficiency in modern medicine to an unqualified or non-medical person. Like say suppose some compounder is working with you and he is not an expert or he has not gained fully the knowledge or he is unqualified, then you should never issue any certificate. Like or suppose any RMO is working with you and he is a non-allopathy or not a modern medicine student, then you should not issue him certificate that he is expert or qualified in modern medicine. Never. In short, never issue any false certificate. Now, what are the legal aspects? The second line, this certificate is not valid for legal purpose, is absolutely foolish. I told you, whatever any doctor write on the paper in black and white, it is once and final. Then he cannot say कि this was not related to that thing and this was not related to legal purpose or whatever he may think of. All medical certificates issued by RMP will be admissible in court of law. Any certificate, yes, this is important, any certificate issued by a registered medical practitioner becomes an evidence in the court of law according to the Evidence Act. And so the writing at the footnote, certificate is not valid for legal purpose, is invalid. Doctor must have record substantiating the certificate. Proper format has to be followed. Avoid erasing or overwriting or modification on the certificate. If there is some mistake, you may issue another certificate and clear the previous one. Overwriting or erasing again create doubts in the mind of the lawyers and courts. If something undue has done or some false thing has been written and then erased and something else is written, issuing a false certificate we may be punishable under these four acts. Of course, this is the IPC Act, now modified as BNS. False evidence 193 was IPC, forgery, or for 420 we may be sued by court or may be fined or even punished by the court. Then another important legal aspect is maintaining the confidentiality and privacy of the patient. That is his first right. Suppose you know a patient is HIV positive, then it is the absolute duty of a doctor to maintain that confidentiality of the patient. If patient say, ki, you please tell my family member, then and then only I think you should tell. Or otherwise, the confidentiality should be exposed only when there is a matter of public health. Like say, suppose somebody is having a sexual transmitted disease and is going for a swimming, then that should be informed to the respective authority. False medical certificate delayed the court procedure and thereby miscarriage of justice. Now this is the format for certificate, leave extension or communication of leave. See, this says first line is signature of patient or thumb impression. Then all the things, the name, identification mark, doctor's name, date, time, diagnosis. I have examined carefully, place, and again date of the examination. These are few of the points which everybody should remember very well while writing a certificate. Now, what care should be taken? What care we should take while issuing the certificates? Certificate may not be backdated. May not be I have written. Sometime we may need to issue backdated certificate, like he was under my treatment for last few months or last 1 month or whatsoever. But usually never issue a backdated certificate. Only fact or observation made by the doctor while examination has to be written in the certificate. What he was told or what he was की हमको बोला गया था, मला कोणीतरी सांगितलं होतं की मी असं असं आहे, डॉक्टर शुड नॉट राईट दॅट. He should only write his examination points. No deliberately leaving out relevant information. That is, if suppose something is not to be written or would not go in the favor of the patient and doctor omits to write it, then that is a omission of relevant information. That is again a commission of some crime. So whatever findings are there, you have to write it. Simple language, avoid medical terms unless standard worldwide. Okay, worldwide or very well recognized medical terminologies or short forms can be used. But what happens in our regular practice and busy practice, we may create our own shortcuts or short forms. Those are not at all valid in any certificate and they should not be written in any certificate. It should be very clear and legible to be able to read by anybody. Without an OPD examination, never issue a medical certificate. At least OPD examination. If it is IPD, then you get enough time to examine and write the certificate. Doctor must not issue backdated certificate or never give a fitness certificate on advance date or back date. Like say, many times patient comes to us, we have given 8 days certificate, 8 days are over, I am good, and now give me fitness certificate after 3 days because there is Saturday and Sunday I have leave and Monday is some holiday. So I want a certificate after 3 days. How can you issue a certificate after 3 days? Absolutely no, never do that thing. Suppose he wants a certificate of 14th, ask him to come on 14th or at least 13th. If he comes on 13th, give him for 13 or 14 and never for 15 or 16 or any other date. We don't know. Suppose you give the certificate on 13th that is fit to go for duty on 15th and suppose he gets an accident on 14th. आपण अडकलो ना. त्यामुळे एकच दिवसाकरता मेडिकल फिटनेस सर्टिफिकेट इश्यू करावे. In the same way, never issue a medical certificate on advance date. Just now, one time it is better not to issue more than 15 days when necessary. Say most of the medical illnesses or even surgical things usually get cured within 15 days or 20 days. Like say appendix हो गया था, typhoid था, malaria था, perforation था, bypass था, whatever all the things, your total knee replacement था, total hip replacement था, whatever the usual things gets cured in maybe within 10 to 20 days. When it comes to a fracture, then you can issue the certificate for 6 weeks or maybe for 4 weeks, but don't issue for 4 months and 6 months. Usually 6 to 8 weeks are enough for a fracture to heal, and probably that is the lengthiest time in any medical cause. Original to be handed over to patient and get his sign as received on the carbon copy and keep the copy with you. One copy has to be with you, duly signed by person who received the certificate, preferably patient himself or sometimes police. Not for medical legal issue is not valid. We saw that must have signature of all doctors who examined the patient. Like disability certificate we issue in civil hospital, there are usually three signatures. So all three person must sign the certificate. Mark of identification are must, though nowadays not so relevant, but they are important for documentation purpose. Keep a register of finding on what basis certificates are issued. That is, keep a copy with you. It's a conflict of interest if medical certificate is to be issued to self, spouse, or relative. This is a controversial issue. म्हणजे मीच मला आजारी म्हणून घेतलं की आय एम सिक फॉर 10 days अँड आय एम ऑन लिव्ह फॉर 10 days आणि मग 10 दिवसानंतर मीच मलाच फिटनेस देणार की नाऊ आय एम फिट. That is not at all व्हॅलिड ऑर से वॉट एव्हर. इवन स्पाऊस और रिलेटिव्ह दॅट इज ओके की मुलगा आहे आजारी पडला होता फ्रॅक्चर होता आणि शाळेत सर्टिफिकेट द्यायचे, वाईफ इज वर्किंग अँड शी इज इल, इवन दॅट कॅन बी कन्सिडर्ड, बट नेव्हर इश्यू सर्टिफिकेट टू सेल्फ. Tips you may require: do not try to verify all details as far as possible. Do try to verify all the details as far as possible before issuing a certificate. Especially death certificate किंवा cause of death certificate जे आपण issue करतो, that is very important to verify all the details. And many times it happens that patient was admitted with you and after 3 or 4 days of discharge patient dies at home. Then you verify all the details. Really, if it was possible to die with that illness for which he was admitted, or is there some foul play? Even if a minor suspicion, please don't issue any certificate. Special certificates like COVID, yellow fever has to be issued with due care because again, once you write on paper, it is full and final. Ask for previous certificates if already issued. Suppose you want to give an extension to the leave, then please get his previous certificate. What you have written on that? What illness you have written on that? Do not succumb to pressure or issue false certificate. काही नाही होत डॉक्टर, देऊन टाका, मला फक्त 2च दिवसाकरता पाहिजे आहे. This is the common thing we hear from the patient. काही होणार नाही, मला फक्त शाळेतच द्यायचं आहे. We don't know whether he is going to use it in his workplace or for somewhere else or whatever. एकदा आपण सर्टिफिकेट दिलं की आपण कागदावर लिहिलं की लिहिलं, तो काय करणार आहे वी डोंट नो. पेशंटचं काम होऊन जातं, त्यांचं काम होऊन जातं, आणि इफ देर इज समथिंग रॉंग आपण फसून जातो. सो डू नॉट सकम टू एनी प्रेशर टू इश्यू एनी फॉल्स सर्टिफिकेट एव्हर. If you have doubt, now if you want for a long duration, if you have doubt, please refer him to medical board. Nowadays there are medical board in almost all district places. Again, if you have doubt, ask for the opinion of specialist if needed. Like say suppose hearing disability, you have to issue a certificate. get his audiometry done, get an opinion of ENT surgeon, and write in that certificate of yours that ENT opinion from XYZ doctor has been taken, and as per the audiometry report, he is unable to listen, that you can issue. But then when you are not an expert ENT specialist, then get an opinion. Don't issue certificate directly. Birth certificate, most important, one of the most important certificate. Traditionally, births were poorly recorded in India. Even now, many people, at least 20-30 people, don't know exact date of their birth. आता सुद्धा. For official purpose, other proofs are accepted in India in lieu of birth certificate, such as matriculation certificate. आपले जे 10th किंवा 12th चे certificate आहेत, we usually consider that birth date as true. Facilities are available to produce a birth certificate from passport. By law, since 1969, registration of birth is compulsory as per provision of Registrations of Birth and Death Act. Birth certificates are issued by government or municipality. Important line: birth certificates are to be issued by government or municipalities concerned. We do not issue birth certificate. Neither do any doctor issue death certificate. Doctor issues the cause of death certificate, and for the birth we issue the birth details, ahwal, janma ahwal. What we say that in Marathi is janma ahwal. Registration of birth is to be done within 21 days. Previously, it was totally offline. Hospitals had to send the written document to the corporation and one copy to the patient, which patient used to take in corporation and get the birth certificate from there. Nowadays, this is also made online. Using a birth certificate as of October 1st, 2023, birth certificate can be used as a single document for many purposes like admission to institutions, educational institutions, driving license, and many other things. Acceptable birth certificates are the only one which are issued by government. Government may be the municipal authorities or government itself. This is a sample of the birth certificate from our city. See, there it is written Janma Ahwal, Sankhiki Mahiti. This is not a certificate, not a birth certificate. This is just a Ahwal. Coming to death certificate, this is the very controversial and violence causing certificate. Is suppose any person dies in a hospital, they immediately want death certificate. They are not ready to do postmortem. They are not ready to go to a police station, and they want immediate certificate, which we should never issue. Mind well. According to the Registration of Birth and Death Act, Section 12 and 17, the cause of death is to be issued as per the Section 10. Here, Section 10, subsection 3. Only these following three people can issue the death certificate: registered medical practitioner. Suppose a patient dies and he is not under your treatment and you are called to issue a certificate. You have never seen the person. Then medical practitioner can issue a certificate provided he examines the death dead person, his body well. He wait for at least 45 minutes. He do all the possible things he can do to revive the person, and after 45-50 minutes he has to confirm the death by all the means which we know, which he has studied, and then he can issue a medical certificate, medical cause of death certificate. Another person who can issue is who has attended his recent illness. It has been said that his recent illness, गेल्या 2-3 महिन्यातला इलनेस ज्या प्रॅक्टिशनरने अटेंड केलेला असेल, he can issue a death certificate provided he confirms the death. Kiwa, another thing is the doctor must have some clear, non-controversial evidence which may have caused the death. Only in these three conditions the doctor can issue the certificate. Otherwise, he should not issue the cause of death certificate. Before you start to issue cause of death certificate, diagnose death, physical examination, ECG. You have to confirm it. You have to get 2 or 3 ECG at an interval of maybe 15 minutes. Physical examination like pupil, pulse, breathing, respiration, all the signs of live or living thing. If they are absent, then you can declare death. Then determine the cause of death, case history, examination if he is admitted with you, That is easy. Make sure you have the correct death certificate form for your state. May the format of certificate may differ from state to state, so you have to issue as per the state where you live in. Gather all the necessary information, including the deceased person name, date of birth, date of death, cause of death, time of death, and all the respective things. Verify the spelling of deceased person's name with the next of the kin. This is again very difficult. In our places, the person may have two or three names and even two or three surnames. So get it very clear on his Aadhaar, whatever the name is written on his Aadhaar or birth certificate or school matriculation certificate, you use that name. When you are filling the form, be sure to print legibly and use black ink. Do not use short forms, or you may use standard worldwide accepted short forms or abbreviations. List the cause of death in full, including international classification of disease if possible. If death was due to an accident, be sure to include details about the circumstances, about what the accident was, how it was. If the death was due to natural cause, be sure to list the underlying medical condition that contributed to the death. If the death was due to homicide, suicide, be sure to indicate the matter of death. If an autopsy was performed, be sure to indicate whether the findings were available to you when you complete the death certificate. Say suppose postmortem is performed by another surgeon, you may not issue the certificate, or you may have a clear-cut uh, standard certificate or finding issued by the person who performed the postmortem. Be sure of the all the facts and things. Additional tips: if you are unsure about any of the aspect of completing death certificate, consult your medical professional who has experience in this area. Maybe your seniors or your friends may be expert, or may they know the other things. Be respectful to the deceased person's family, friend, and mindful of their emotional status. Remember that death certificate is a legal document, so it is important to complete it accurately and in timely manner. Death certificate will be used to track mortality statistics to determine eligibility of benefits by governments. Next of the kin will need the death certificate to settle the descendant succession formalities or some reimbursement or some insurance claims he may have. So you have to be very correct. After you finish, sign and date the death certificate. Date and sign is most important. Time you should also write. Print your name, title, registration number very clearly and properly. No erasers and no overwriting. Give a copy of death certificate to the next of the kin and keep one copy with you. Again, you have to keep one copy. This is the sample of the death certificate of at our place. See, this is the cause of death certificate, and you are not supposed to issue death certificate. We only doctor only issue the cause of death certificate. Okay. So finally, what is the carry home? Okay, just a minute. There are some one thing I forgot. There are some special certificates like special certificates. There are some special certificates like driving license, fitness for driving license. Very carefully, you have to issue the certificate. Then another special certificate is yellow fever or vaccine certificate. That also you have to have very clear clarity in your mind. Another thing is fitness to write will or fitness to give will execution certificate. These are very special certificates where utmost care has to be taken by everybody while issuing the certificate. Any certificate is not just a piece of paper, mind well. So the carry home message is all the certificates are legal documents. Understand the requirement of specific certificate. All certificates are different. Their purpose is different. Their usage will be different. So you have to write it clearly. Take utmost care while giving any certificate. Do not leave any fact unturned. Do not write anything which you do not observe or you do not see. Do not write anything which you have been told by somebody else. Just write the things which you personally observed while examining the patient. Do use statutory format if available, like for birth and death certificate, there is special format. Do keep a copy record with you. This is absolutely important. Never ever issue fake certificate or backdated certificates. Whenever you issue any fake certificate, you know it is fake. पेशंटचं काम होऊन जातं, but later you may be sued or you may be called again for that thing. And then you cannot explain कि नहीं ये मैंने नहीं दिया था, this is not my certificate because you already issued it. So never issue a fake certificate. Whatever you write may be used for or against you. Mind well. And not only for certificate, but everything. Whatever you write on IPD paper, OPD paper, you should be able to justify, and it can be used in your favor or against you if ever it goes to court. Thanks. Thank you for patient listening. I stopped sharing the screen. I don't know why I was not able to share it full screen. Anyway, if somebody has any doubt, you may please ask. Hello? Participants are requested to note down their questions. Yeah, please. If anybody has noted some questions or anybody has doubts, I will answer. I will try to answer as far as possible. कोणाला काही शंका आहेत? कोण पार्टिसिपंट्स आहेत? डॉक्टर रवींद्र, डॉक्टर दीपाली, भोसले सर, डॉक्टर जयवंत सर, विजया. Madam, I think I've finished.